Okay, these are 5.7 notes, functions and relations. We are going to go over the warm-up, so go ahead and pause the video. Start it again when you're ready to see if you got the right answer. Okay, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. The formula for finding slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I make my boxes with the minus sign in between. Y2 is -3, y1 is 2. x2 is 1, y1 is 4. So this equals -5 over -3. Now if you put that on the test, I'm going to count it wrong because negative over negative is a positive. Your answer has to be 5 over 3. That's your answer. Okay? When I get to number 2, I can't graph this because y is not all by itself. So I have to add 6x to both sides. This cancels. 3y equals 6x plus 9. My number with the letter is in front. Now I divide everything by 3. Y equals 2x plus 3. My slope is 2 over 1. My y-intercept is 3. So I graph my y-intercept first. My slope is 2 over 1, so I go up 2 over 1. Now, I can't go up 2 again and over 1, but 2 over 1 could also be -2 over -1. When I'm graphing slope, I can graph 2 over 1, -2 over -1. I cannot write this as a possible answer on my paper, but I can graph this, which means I have to go down 2 over 1 to the left. Connect my dots, put my arrows. I'm done. There it is. Okay. Now, in order for y to be a function of x, I can only have one y answer for every x. We'll explain what that means more in a minute. First, we're going to do the vertical line test to determine if the graphs represent y as a function of x. The vertical line test says if I draw a vertical line through my graph line, it will only touch it once. So on number 2, is there any way for you to draw a vertical line that will touch that graph line more than once? Yeah. No. Nope. Look at number 3. Number 3, I draw a vertical line. Does it touch the graph line more than once? Yeah, it touches it here, and it touches it here. So that is not a function. Not a function. Number 2 is a function. There's no vertical line that's going to touch that graph line more than once. Not a function for number 3. Is a function for number 2. Let's look at number 1. Is number 1 a function class? Yes. Yes. So I'm just going to put yes. Because the vertical line will only touch it once. Let's look at number 4. Do you think number 4 is or is not a function? Yes, it is a function. Now, number 5 on the notes is different than my number 5. But is number 5 a function? Yes, it is. See, vertical line, touches it once. Vertical line, only touches it once. What about number 6, yes or no? Yes. Yes. Okay, number 7, I like to refer to this as the SMART test. This determines if you're smart or not. I don't want you to say this out loud. Say it to yourself. Does this vertical line touch my graph line more than once? Don't say it out loud. Because the answer is yes, it does. It touches it twice. So if it touches it twice, is it a function? No. Number 7 is not a function. You can write no or not. Number 8 is also the SMART test. Look at your y-axis. Is number 8 a function, class? Yes or no? 1, 2, 3. No, not a function. No function. Is number 9 a function? Yes. Okay, so the vertical line test, you draw a vertical line to the graph line. If any vertical line touches it more than once, not a function. Why is that? Well, here's why. Look at number 7. Right here is a dot on the x-axis. Right here is a dot on the x-axis. So if I do an XY table, what is the x value for this dot right here, guys? What is the x value for this dot? Not 2. -2. Guys, you go across the x-axis first. This value is -2. What's this value right here? -2. Now, what's my y value here? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's my y value here? -2. So according to this, when x is -2, y is 4. And when x is -2, y is -2. I cannot have two different answers for x. When x is -2, your answer can only be one. When x is -2, y is 4. Okay. But I can't have, oh yeah, and when x is -2, y is -2. I can only have one answer for x. So now we get here to these dots. And I want to know which graph or graphs represent y as a function of x. Well, look at graph number 1. Here and here. Are these the same x value? Yes, this is both x is 0. Not a function. Because they're stacked on top of each other. If you have two dots stacked on top of each other, not a function. What about number 2? Do I have any dots stacked on top of each other? No. So that is a function. Number 3. Do I have any dots stacked on top of each other? No. That is a function. Do I have any dots stacked on top of each other? Not a function. Because x is the same. X for this, -2. Y is 0, -2, y is 2. I cannot have two answers for my x. So the answer is A, 2 and 3. Again, each value of x can have only one y value. If the x repeats, the y must be the same for it to be a function. So, I'm going to make an xy table. Using the set of points, decide which is not a function. Again, I'm only looking at the x values. Which A, B, C, or D has x with repeat values? Which one? C has 3 and has 3. So that is not a function. All these other ones, 2, 4, 6, different x. -1, 0, 6, different x. 2, -2, 4, 3. My x's are always different. It's good. For C, this tells me when x equals 3, y equals 2. When x equals 0, y equals 7. When x equals 3, y equals -1. Well, with my function, y equals mx plus b, if x is 3, it can only have one answer mathematically. If it has more than one answer, it's not a function. That's why C is not a function. Okay, everybody look at number 2. Everybody look at number 2. Which one is not a function? A. -4, -4. A is not a function. Now look here, 6 and -6, is that okay? Yes. Number 3, which one is not a function? Five, -1, 0, -1. D is not a function. Same thing if I have tables. Is number 1, is this a function? No, because it tells me 1 for x equals 0, and then it says, oh yeah, and 1 can equal 6. Cannot be a function. Is number 2 a function? Yes. Is number 3 a function? No. Is number 4 a function? Is number 5 a function? Yes, it is. -1, 2, 5, 8. Is number 6 a function? Yes. I'm just looking at the x's. Only look at the x. You cannot have repeaters. No repeaters. All your x's have to be different. Okay, let me show you number 7, but let me make an xy table. This tells me, what does it tell me 1 equals for x? When x is 1, it equals what? It equals -1, and it equals what? And it equals 4. Is this a function? No. Because 1 has 1, 2 values, not a function. What about number 8? Does each x have its own y value? Yes. The tricky one is number 9. Is number 9 a function? Yes, it is. Because, let me make an xy table and show you. When x equals -3, what does y equal? 3. When x equals 1, what does y equal? When x equals 3, what does y equal? When x equals 4, what does y equal? Do I have any repeaters on my x? No, is a function. Okay, 2 different x's can equal the same y. That's fine. So here, x equals 1, y equals 1. X equals 3, y equals 1. That's okay. 2 different x's can equal the same y. The same x cannot equal 2 different y's. Okay, that is lesson 5.7. If you have any questions, please feel free to come in and ask. Thank you. Have a nice day.